Live every Monday at 8 p.m. Spiritual Coach Kris and Coach Jocks, we are a global spirit. Live every Monday at 8 p.m. Spiritual Coach Kris and Coach Jocks, we are a global spiritual training academy, here to teach you nothing. Because the truth is, you already know. Our role? To help you remember your mission, your message, and the movement you were born to lead. Expand consciously, live authentically, discover your truth, enhance your gifts, master your superpowers. We are light workers and bridge builders, united as a species of Earth, and together we are stronger. Together, we are one tribe.
Well, hello. It's been so long already.
Well, I was thinking about it today. Like, it's only been 1 week, but it feels like it's been a long time. I feel like it's been a long week.
Yes, it has been.
Now, I'm wondering if I click on this, am I gone?
No.
Okay, cool. Because guess what I forgot to do? I did everything else perfectly. And then I forgot to put Mary's video. I forgot to download Mary's video into StreamYard.
Got it.
Yeah. And I'm so sad about that. And I'm trying to figure out like how I have it now. It's on my Facebook, but I have to get to my Facebook.
So you just hit it more in the thing.
I know it's not on my computer. It's in my phone. Right? Let's see. So sorry, people. But where are you checking in from? And Jax, why don't you talk for a second while I do this? Tell us about your week. Tell us about everything.
I was just it out. So I'm asking all of you guys, if you're here watching, please share it out. We are coming back off of Spirit Fest, which was absolutely incredible. Such high energy. The people that we touched base with were incredible. So many amazing modalities, so many amazing people that we learned a heck of a lot this past Spirit Fest. It was in West Palm. And just incredible, even the readings that we were giving. And we didn't want money to be an issue between why somebody couldn't find the messages that they needed. So we did a love donation. It was incredible. I feel that both, and I'm trying to talk for, I guess, both of us, we were a little down for the count after being around so many people. So that's why we were not here last Monday. It was a little much. So we were decompressing. So we're back at it today. We're going to be talking about all fun things. We have an amazing guest coming on later. And we've just, it's incredible, the week and the connections. If you're not out in your community, if you're not getting to know the people that are in your area, it's just incredible making these connections and building these relationships with people. Tim, we missed you too. We saw your comments, but we were decompressing. We needed some time to regroup, fill our cups. And so now that we're back at it and we're going to plug in and reconnect with you guys and talk metaphysical and spiritual and figure out what Spirit has to say tonight. Right? So.
Okay. I know. Thankfully, I had a good people who were saying, "Where were you last Monday?" And I was like,
"We did too."
We were so
like a post or something. But We were
And I
so
even said, I was like, are you doing this Monday? And you're like, we're doing it. And it both hit Monday and we were like, I need to rest.
we were both in bed.
We live streamed for over 14 hours. So that was a lot of live streaming that we did.
Crystal. We did a lot of streaming, a lot of interviewing, a lot of readings. It was just incredible.
Yeah.
Highly amazing.
Yes, yes. So on some of the stuff, I want to let you know we do have the link on some of the, I wonder if I put the link here. And that's just, no, Tim, I didn't color my hair. Does it look different? Paste. Let's see if that's the link. Oh, that's not it.
Maybe because it's up and you usually have it down.
True. Yeah, I just put this up. I actually just got back from my Thanksgiving weekend. So it was a little long and a little fun. Went out and went to the pool and hung out in Hollywood, hung out at the Hard Rock with the big guitar pool, and they had a lot of Thanksgiving events and stuff like that. So it was a lot of fun.
I love the Hard Rock.
Yeah, it's fun. I get to get dressed up, walk around, have a good time.
That's going to be a conversation for later.
Yeah, well, I go, John lives there. It's his second house. So he was there and invited me to come, and he had a bunch of friends coming. So there was like 12, I don't know, at any given time, 12 to 15 people walking around, which was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I made a buttload of food thinking that I was going to have enough food for the next 3-4 days. I made 10 pounds of mashed potatoes.
Oh,
3 pounds of sweet potatoes, cranberry bread, a whole entire huge thing of matzo ball soup, and I made a green bean casserole and a 9-pound brisket from
wow.
Now, 4 people.
That's a lot.
4 people. Me, I only had 1 plate, but my little 10-year-old next to me had 3.
Yeah.
My 15-year-old had like 2.5, and my husband had 2. So there was like nothing left.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah, there was so much food. They did a neighborhood thing. There was so much turkey, and everyone in the entire neighborhood came together and made something and brought it. So everyone was able to share that experience together. So that was really nice. There was just so much food. So, for me, and also I just feel bad for the turkeys. I can't help it.
I didn't eat a turkey.
It's like also the mass murder of turkeys. Sorry, I'm going to say it. Like they live, they have their life, and then we just murder like 200,000 animals. And it doesn't sit well with me. But then here I am, nibbling on bacon, which I try not to eat too much of that. Yeah, I don't even like bacon, but there's meat, I think, in like processed meat in almost everything that we are eating or exposed to. And there was a man who said he won't eat chicken. This was interesting. There's a man who said he won't eat chicken because it was his job as a child where he lived on the farm to prepare the chicken. So he would have to catch the chicken, snap the chicken's neck, kill it, and take all of its feathers off and process it and pluck it and then eat it. And he was like, I'll never eat chicken again. And I thought, that's what we're missing. We're missing the experience of cooking, of catching and preparing our own food, which is why
hunting, gathering, and preparing.
Yes, because when you have to hunt or gather nuts, berries, fruits, and you're digging for those, grains and berries, and you're getting pricked by the berries, and
it's work.
And then you're having to actually, take a life, because I don't think we're naturally life takers. I don't think we have any issue spending $3 on our chicken at Publix or whatever, but I don't think if we had to catch the brisket, I don't even know what a brisket is. Is it a cow?
Cow.
Okay.
Well,
Kill the
cow. By
cow.
the way, just side note, the Adams Ranch has amazing bacon. Beef bacon.
On a side note, let Adams Ranch, kill your animals. But I do think that that's something that as a species, where the reason why there's not enough vegans and vegetarians and why we're so meat dominated is because we're not having to kill the food.
But I also feel that the food is very different because we're not hunting and gathering. The hormones and the stress of the animal are not wild, so they're all isolated and they're not free roaming, most of the ones that that are in the store, and they taste very different than ones that are grass fed and roaming around freely in the wild, and somebody shoots an arrow and kills it and it wasn't expecting it, and it was just I feel like all of the energy inside the animal is very, very different. The same thing as as we're cooking the animals, we're not cooking out of stress. We're not supposed to cook with, oh, I have to make dinner, or, oh, I'm so busy, or oh, it's so fast. The way that we prepare our food has to also be very mindful and intentional, because you're putting all of that energy into your food. You're putting all of that love. If you're cooking with love, then that's what you're going to be eating. If you're cooking with hate and anger and have-tos, all that is going into your food. So,
well, what's interesting that you say that, and I don't know that I fully. These are issues or things that I really think people should be a little more conscious of, and I have a little bit of proof of what you just said in ayahuasca, because they said that when you do ayahuasca, it matters who prepares it, how they prepare it, and the intentions that are put around it. It is brewing a tea. And that sounds, I was like, okay, but then I had my shaman who did the ayahuasca, and then my girlfriend brought me to her shaman, and it was night and day energetic difference that I can see because I'm gifted in that way. So I could see the difference in the vibrational frequency because you're on ayahuasca. So you tune into a different frequency. And that energy that this other shaman did was darker energy. There were dark entities swirling around this place that I actually physically saw. I've seen a few times, but this was like in my own eyes. I'm like blinking my eyes, like, am I seeing this? And that was and I asked my shaman what that was, and he said that was the intention behind the person who brewed. And it wasn't that the person's intention necessarily was negative, it just wasn't sacred space. He didn't create a sacred space. And that was just a tea.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
If that's going in, if that energy frequency is going into our food preparations,
yes,
and our sleep preparations, and even if we're walking around with that energy and interacting with other people, not realizing that we've just been exposed to maybe 10 low vibrational humans at an event or somewhere. And I read something else that as humans, and I know we've heard this, but I don't think I realized the numbers of the spectrum, that as humans, we can only perceive like this much of the spectrum of vision, like frequency vision. Did you hear that? Like of the hertz, like we can only observe, okay, I'm going to throw these numbers out, even though they're not right. Like 2 to 5 on the spectrum, where the spectrum is like negative infinity to positive infinity, and like vision and hearing and vibrations and energy and frequency. As humans, we can only see like 2 to 5. So they're saying that there's things going on around us constantly, like right here, right now. So in our brains, we think, oh, it's off somewhere. Like the spirits are gone somewhere. We have to call them to us there. We need to like, hey, God, can you hear me? I think it's all right in front of us, and we just can't.
Tuning in.
Yeah,
like a radio, we have to tune into the right frequency, and that's where that whole idea comes from, is tuning into the frequency of being able to communicate with past loved ones or spirit guides or whoever on any other dimensional plane, but they're all simultaneously happening right now at the same time. Time is linear.
No, they say it's not linear, right? Time, right? You meant time is
not linear.
Time, they say, is in a spiral, and that is almost in our field of metaphysics. That's like normal, like we know now. I think physics itself knows that time is not linear. It's
correct.
It's a spiral. So for those of you who want to meditate on something this week, Just imagine, and they say, Jax, have you heard this, that everything past, present, and future is already taking place right now, has already taken place, and is presently taking place, and like it's all happening at the same time, which my brain, obviously my little human brain, is like, how? So like my entire
It's a
past,
hard concept.
they're not even saying the past life of this life. They're saying like all of our lives are continuously moving in a swirling vortex of time.
And not here only on Earth either.
No. Imagine seeing that when we cross over to the other side.
But
We're
as
gonna be
you
like,
cross over, you can choose which one do I want to tap into, and at what point do I want to tap into it.
So this is what they're saying right now. People are actively, and again, I like to bring you all the metaphysical news because I know this is very common in our world. We're like, oh yeah, we get that. But people are like, what? What are you guys talking about? I'm like, wait, you don't know this already? Like, this is a Monday. Like we're talking about this.
This is a Monday.
Now they're talking about that's how they're jumping timelines.
Yes,
that's how people are jumping timelines. They are just setting their intention to switch into different timelines and their highest timeline, because they're saying even all of your highest best possibilities are even swirling in this. So like in some other planet, I'm already doing this work full time somewhere else, and they're saying I can frequency match that ascension lifetime, go to sleep or whatever, and then wake up. I mean, again, that's so 3D human in that timeline, and just tap into that version of Kristen who's on that version of Earth. Correct. Who's already living this, which is where we get bleed over. So like when we have these visions and we're over here like trying to make it, I'm like, am I like which version of me is here? And then I noticed differences. I told Jax that I actually had a real proof of a time, like, because again, I need to experience things before I believe them. And I had a real experience of a time glitch where I shifted into what would be different worlds, and I realized that I think even the people are different, because
very different.
I've recognized different personalities in my loved ones and my family. And like, for example, the Mandela effect, which I know is very strange, but okay, here's the thing. It's my mother's birthday today. It's the 1st. This is actually all about my mom's birthday. Oh, there's some kind of dog fight going on outside. So in my time world, the Thanksgiving was always on the 3rd Thursday. And I remember thinking about that because I remember talking about it, and I remember having a 3rd Thursday just so I could plan it in my brain, especially when I was a kid. Like the 3rd Thursday was Thanksgiving, right? 3rd Thursday is Thanksgiving. Now in this world that I'm living in, and I even spoke to my mother. Now, the reason why I know this is because my mom's birthday is the 1st. So you would imagine that my entire life, if my mother's birthday is the 1st and we have Thanksgiving, we would be celebrating Thanksgiving and her birthday on the same weekend for my whole life. That has never happened. Never once in my entire life. I always remember having Thanksgiving on Thursday, like it was like the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th. That was always when Thanksgiving.
So, and I don't mean to interrupt, but that is the fourth Thursday of every month. So just last year, and I just had this conversation in a one-on-one meeting that we just had, and real fast because we want to bring on our guest.
Yeah.
But it is always been the 4th Thursday of the month, and there's usually 5 weeks in November. The last 2 years, it has been shifted, and we have only had 4 weeks in November. So there isn't a gap. There isn't that week between, because usually it goes to the.
How did the week between disappear?
Because our weeks are not all 28 days and not all 30 or 31. So it rotates. Why Christmas comes out on a different day every year. Why Thanksgiving comes out on a different date every year. So there's certain holidays that, instead of just saying it's Christmas can come out on a Saturday one year, it can come out on a Monday one year. It's always going to be different because the months are always different with different days. So every 10 years you'll have a cycle. So every 10 years you'll have, like, your birth date will be on your day you were born. But your birthday is always going to be on a different day every year too, because of the way that it shifts. So yes, Thanksgiving is and always has been on the fourth, in my timeline anyway, has always been on the fourth Thursday of every month. But the last 2 years, it only had 4 Thursdays in the month. So we didn't have that cushion week between November and December, after Thanksgiving to December. So if you look back in 2023, 2022, 2021, you will see that it ended up in the 22nd, 23rd, but you had an additional week after the fact of up until the 31st to cushion us from November to December.
Ish. Yeah. Well, because here I'm looking, yeah, you're right. So 2020, it would have been again on the 27th, 26th.
Yeah. So we're only just now realizing it now. But if you go back to 2023, 2022.
Oh, here it is. Here's this month. Ready? Here it is. Here it is. It was on, oh, wait. Now, on November 2019. So would it have been, see, for my brain, Thanksgiving would have been on the 21st or 22nd.
And the 19th and
29th. My brain automatically went, okay, Thanksgiving's on the 21st, 22nd.
It was on the 28th.
So yeah, so not in my
here, no classes Thanksgiving. So every few years, we've already been experiencing that no block, but for whatever reason, last year and this year, we're very much aware of it. But it's been
and so even my brain instantly went, when I saw it on the 19th, my brain instantly went to Thanksgiving's on the 21st, 22nd, because that is how it's been my entire timeline.
Yeah.
And then I had a full week, because I remember going home and traveling or leaving my mom or doing whatever, and then being like, oh, Mom, I'm so sorry your birthday isn't closer. I remember saying this so often to her. I'm sorry your birthday isn't closer, so that we could have your birthday together. I've said this to her for 20 years. So now all of a sudden, this timeline, my mom's Thanksgiving and birthday is the same weekend. Yet, for 44 years, I've never celebrated Thanksgiving and my mother's birthday for 44 years. That's never happened.
So sometimes my husband's birthday, I don't know how I explain. And we would celebrate the 17th.
I don't know how, but I 100% have switched timelines, 100%. And then my mom also is a different kind of version of herself. Yeah, because in my world, and you'll see this Mandela effect. There's, you can even look it up, like, which I love. And then I want to just say Mandela effect. How many people believe Thanksgiving is on the third Thursday? It's so crazy. And then we'll bring her on.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I'm segueing in because speaking of timelines and being able to connect with no matter who and where you are, our guest this evening, while she's looking for the Mandela effect, can tap in to solving amazing cases, not even in this country that she lives in. So she is able to tap into all different planes and all different to help solve cold cases and to tap into connecting with our loved ones, no matter what plane they're on. And she's absolutely incredible. She's a friend of both mine and Kris's, and we have definitely had personal experience with her for a while now. We've met at Spirit Fests, not knowing that we lived in each other's backyards. And it's been incredible. And when you're ready, we can bring her in to talk about the Mandela effect.
Yeah, absolutely.
You want to play the intro? Do we have it on here?
Yes, but look, all right, last thing, no, then we're getting off this topic. But a large people remember it this way. Everyone says that it's on the third Thursday. It's called this Mandela effect. Historically, it's been the fourth, but hundreds of thousands of people swear that it's the third Thursday of the month. And I'm leaving it at that. Thanks to the Mandela effect and switching timelines. And CERN opening up the portal. And here we go. We have Mary coming on. I get to play her video though. Hold on. Let's. right.
Cool video, babes.
Wasn't that such a good video? I was like, damn, I feel like inspired by this. And I wanted to make a second one. I probably will, because we've been really trying to add advertisement spaces. And
Yeah.
so each time I add a video, I kind of keep playing them over on the show just to kind of get that
Yeah.
placeholder.
Oh, sure. Wow. How are you two doing?
Hi, happy
Wonderful. How are you?
Thanksgiving.
Yay. Mwah. Happy
Mwah.
Thanksgiving. Yeah. So did you guys have a good one?
Yeah, just, we were just talking about food and preparation and mass murdering of turkeys. Sorry, that's where my brain goes.
God, I know.
Such a Debbie Downer. They're like, stop talking about it. And I'm like, energetically, I can feel it. So it just.
Yeah.
I killed a cow instead.
You're not the only one. It's
Yeah.
like when I get a cut of meat, seriously, guys, I can tap into the animal side. And it's like, here are like 20 cows in the kitchen looking at me like, what happened to us? I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't do it.
No, this is what I feel as well. And in fact, me too. I'm so glad you understand.
Well, here's my thing also on the other end, and this may sound so super strange, but if I were a cow, let's just say, I would be grateful that I was able to nourish you. That's how I would feel. So I get this sense of their purpose is knowing that they're here to nourish us. So if that was their purpose here in this lifetime, that they've decided to tap into being an animal that is able to nourish somebody's soul and with bringing in food, that's how I feel.
And you know what, Jax, I gotta give you that. That.
Hey, that's fine.
I was on, again, let's go back to my ayahuasca journeys. Guys, I could talk all day about this. And in the middle of my ayahuasca journey, there was a gentleman who found a fishing pole. And we are all like, boom, like out of our bodies, communicating to the animals and whatever. And he's going to fish. Now, I instantly said to the fish, guys, he's coming to fish. Monitor the hooks. Watch it. I heard a fish volunteer. Okay, I'll let him catch me so he has it.
Because they're here to nourish us.
He felt good about it.
Yeah.
He was really excited that he could offer
purpose in life
to us benefit. I know. See, Mary understands now that we
do
your thing.
I do. Oh my gosh, it's like I'm the lady that rolls down her window and there's a bunch of cows in the field and I yell, "Run for it!"
I know.
You know,
I said to the fish, I'm like, the hooks are coming, guys, and they're like, okay, it's this guy. And then the guy pulls the fish out and he brings it to me, and I said, he chose that. And he looked at me and I was like, yeah, he chose to go on your hike. And he's like, oh my God, I'm gonna put him back. I was like, okay. But I felt that way.
The same thing as a healer. We put ourselves in that same line of fire.
Oh yeah.
And we know that this is our purpose. We know that this is how we are meant to have be of service in this lifetime. So the animals too are here. Some of them, not all of them, are here to benefit us. And that's their purpose in this lifetime, is to nourish us.
Right. I understand hunters. I'm from the deep South where the guys go out hunting. Of course, I was never a hunter. And only my opinion, not anybody else's, but I know that, the deer can get sick, disease will start spreading, so they have to cull the deer or other things. And I totally get the purpose of hunting if it's to feed your bodies and not as a wall ornament. And let me tell you why. Because I was in an antique shop in New Hampshire probably 2 months ago, and here are a bunch of like a bear head, antelope head, a deer head, and a buck with all of these horns. And I took a picture of the buck, and he goes, I said, you can go home now, because I knew instantly there was a spirit. His spirit was still trapped inside that mounted head. And he said, in my live photo on my iPhone, you can see me? And I said, yes, I can. And the front door is that way.
Yeah.
True story. I cannot tell you how many photos I've taken, like at the Smithsonian in Washington. And they had cases of all of these birds that had been shot and stuffed and mounted. And one of them said, I was captured. Okay. I mean, literally said it on my iPhone in a video. So they have souls, guys. Just
They
remember
do.
that.
And I have heard
plants too, and they can't speak back.
I have heard them speak to me. I know some of you have heard the story. I've had flies 100% communicate to me. And when those flies started talking to me, I think the significance of the fly was that we look at it like, ew, that is a gross. We look at it like a fly, like it's gross. Like we don't love flies.
Yeah. No.
Butterflies, the butterflies. Like, that's cute. This was a buzzing fly. And it spoke to me like you're speaking to me, told me all about the sentience of the hive mind of the bees, that they're connected. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't, and I believe that the way they showed me their connection is the way we're also connected. And that was why they wanted to show me, like, this little microcosm fly is connected to all the other flies. And Mary, they told me that we can program them.
Wow.
We can set our intention with them, and they will spread messages on a global scale for us. That's what they told me.
Wow.
And it's so true. So I've had experience with this myself, not on a journey, but in real life, which I don't know which sounds better or worse. And I remember almost ready to step on a fly, and I swear I could have sworn it said thank you. Like, I heard something, and your brain starts to think it. Like, did I really?
That is what it sounds like. I had a cockroach talk to me. I had a cockroach, and I've hated and been afraid, and I don't want to use the word hate, but I have been maybe deathly afraid of cockroaches. Childhood trauma, raised in the Everglades. Right? No, like I will stand on my counter, cry, and call someone if there's a bug like that. I'm like, I'm a total screaming girl. Anyway, so there it was in my garage, and I could tell it was dying. And I was like, I'm gonna go like step on it, and instantly I just heard its little voice, and it was like, I'm not feeling good. I'm not well. Like, I'm not going to make it much longer. And I was like, oh. My God, it's talking to me. Hello, little kitty.
I have these little, I call them little green fairies, but they're little leaf hopper things, they're called.
Yeah.
And for some reason, they've ended up in my office, and they play with me. Wow. I have them on video, and they hop, and they climb up onto my hand, and they sit and they play with me. Or I take like a small little crystal and I put it around them, and then they hop through in and out. Like, I play with them for like an hour. And every once in a while they'll hop on my screen. They sit and hang out with me while I'm typing.
Is this a real fairy?
It's a green leaf hopper thing.
Yeah. So these fairies. So I want to talk about the fairies. I love that.
That's a real fairy.
That is a real fairy.
Well, this one is like teensy tiny.
Yeah.
Like, it is this little teeny tiny green.
I know what you're talking about, Jax. Yeah.
It is and we literally have a full on play fest.
Wow, that's so.
And I'm not a bug person at all, but I feel like I was like, you know what? I feel like I need to tell you my hopes and dreams and wishes.
Wow.
I've been to a few psychics. I don't go to a ton, but the few that I have, and they have told me they see fairies. Every one of them have told me
seen fairies.
They see fairies all around me. That I was one, or they love me, or I'm connected to them. And after that, I started doing little things like I'll pick up trash. If I'm in a walk, I will pick up every little bit of trash that I find. I just kind of put it in a bag. And I kept
Sure.
hearing like they really like that. And I hear that the reason why sometimes we can't see them is they're vibrating at a different frequency.
They are.
They are.
You can see
They are. As a matter of fact, that one I captured. There were several of them there. You know, you've got the elementals, you've got the fairies, and believe it or not, tiny. And this may sound crazy, but tiny little people. Okay, tiny.
Tiny, teensy.
Tiny, teensy weensy. I've seen them. I've got photos of them. And then, but I guess they are elementals, maybe. And then of course, you know, a golden fairy. I was working at my day job, and I look out the window, and the sun shined on something on the ground, and it was a golden fairy. It was like the gold in your Light Workers United, that gold. And I couldn't get to my phone fast enough to take.
Oh, that's so frustrating.
I'm like, dadgummit, I wanted a picture of it, you know? And it was incredible. Oh, hey, thank you, Evie. Hey, Evie.
Oh,
So my son, I have a 15 and 10-year-old, but when he was a baby, my oldest one, at 4.5 years old, right before I was ready to have my second child that I didn't know was coming, that he told me he came up with this name that he says, there's going to be a like fae, and not that he's ever heard this word before. Nowhere on any of his shows is the word fae.
Wow.
Not anywhere in his class that he had the name fae. Nowhere. And he says that he is going to have a daughter named Faye.
Wow.
All about the fairy, and it's all this love and light and little. So he was hearing this at 4 years old, talking about this, and he still picks it up. He still sees, hears, and sees everything that's going on in his room.
That's incredible. Yeah, they do exist, people. They do exist.
They do. I have a 30-second funny story. My daughter really believed in the tooth fairy, and I didn't. She was in the 4th grade at this point, and I didn't realize that neither me nor Dad had told her there wasn't a tooth fairy, because like I assumed she heard it at school. She's in the 4th grade. She's going into 5th grade. Like at some point, your friends are going to tell you tooth fairy is your mom and dad. And I figured,
well, hopefully no children are watching.
Oh, are they, Jess? I don't know how many children. I don't think children are watching our Facebook Live on Metaphysics.
No.
Yeah, parents, remove your children if they are.
Right.
So remove your young children. 4th grade. So she's got a loose tooth, and I'm like, she's like, oh, look, mommy, my tooth is loose. And I'm like, yeah, we'll lose it at your dad's house. You know, you get $20 over there. And she's like, why would you say that? And I'm like, well, you know, you get I'm going to give you $5. She's like, what are you talking about? You telling me the truth? She goes into a full-fledged sobbing, hysterical.
No. Oh.
Hysterical.
Poor baby. Oh.
And so guess what I did? I just said, listen, girl, those tooth fairies aren't real, but let's Google fairies on YouTube, because regular fairies are real. There's pictures of them all over the world. We looked up fairy mushrooms, the circles of the mushrooms. We looked up pictures of fairies on YouTube until she calmed down.
Oh.
So speaking of tooth fairies, I actually did see what I thought was a tooth fairy. Apparently it was a real fairy when I was younger. I was about probably 6 or 7 years old, and my mother will never forget this. She was in all purple.
Wow.
And it was in the middle of the day, and apparently my mother forgot the night before and waited for me to fall asleep for a nap and stuck it in there. But I saw something floating. I was on a bunk bed, and I was in the top bunk, and it was floating across the top. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to have a visit from the tooth fairy. And I am watching it happen. And, you know,
So
that's
cool.
how you justified it back then, because there was no internet for this to be mainstream.
Yeah.
That real fairies exist,
Mhm.
right? So I did see, and when you're younger, they're not as vulnerable feeling as they are with adults. So
It's almost like, you have to be, even though, we're adults and we get away from this stuff, but we're gifted, okay? And we forget that it's still magical for us. And when we put our brains, our third eyes back into a childlike state, that's when it's going to appear.
100%. And did you know that in the Bible, Jesus says, become like the children and you will gain the kingdom of heaven?
Yeah.
Something like that. He's saying, because in our eyes and in our mindset, if we bring back the sight of a child,
Innocence.
heaven reveals itself to us right here on earth. Heaven is earth, and how it talks about heaven becomes earth and earth becomes heaven. That is a real thing. When you get into that frequency, because I've seen it. I've seen it with my very own eyes. Now, boy, does it take a removal of 3D living to stay in that frequency. Like take away, like you're completely financially stable. Your home is stable. You don't have bills to pay. You don't have cars. Like everything's taken care of. And then you can kind of really shift into that frequency a little more. But once you start adding the 3D stresses of like everything, that's when that frequency fades a little bit.
It does.
Yeah. And I know that because I was in a situation to where my daughter's father was very financially stable, so stable in all ways. And he worked a lot. He was never there. And I didn't have anything to worry about except for whether I was going to bathe at 10 or 11 that day. You know what I mean? Like it was fantastic, really great. And that's when I discovered all of this because I had nothing else to worry about. And then I remember now after I discovered all this, I was like, I can't stay in this glass house anymore. I have to go out into the world. And at that point they were like, go, it's time. But you're walking out into the war zone. That's what they told me. You're walking out into the war zone. And I felt very strong, like I could handle it. And I'm like, okay, this is like hard. Let me back in? Let me back in.
Yeah. Let me back into that magical world.
Yeah, and we lived in a little sanctuary. That was when I saw all the fairies in the back of this little sanctuary that was back behind our house. And that was when all this happened. The downloads, the metaphysical, the source, all my guides came through, the fairies came through, angels came, everybody came through. And that's
when you're most open too, is when your mind is more childlike. That's when you're very, very open. I tell people all the time, I live in the most magical world there is,
Wow.
I mean, yeah.
How cool is our world? Like we have 3 intelligent adults, all of which who own their own companies. By the way, speaking about how fairies visit us every day, I love that. It's one thing if we're like, oh, woo, I live in the trees. No, we own companies and businesses that have been successful, that bring us financial stability. We're all very powerful women, very strong. And yet we also understand, like you said, we're gifted. Spirits are talking to us. Fairies are talking to us. And these little elementals, boy, they have a really cool little feeling about them. And now something else I heard, and just to add to this, is some of the, this is weird, sorry. Some of the smaller people in our world come from smaller people, planets of small people. And I've heard this. So like, tinier people, they have manifested into this earth plane and they chose a particular body that felt like home to them. So some of these little smaller people, I can see their tiny human root. They're tiny like this. It's funny. And I was
I've got pictures hundreds of pictures of them out in, and honestly, it's a pristine, like organic type garden. If it's a bad area, if the soil's bad, the grass is bad, things like that, you're not really going to find anything like that. But I've got so many pictures of them just standing there. I'm like, you're tiny. This is the only place I have ever said that, because a lot of people wouldn't believe me. They wouldn't believe the fairies had I not taken the picture.
I know. And even then, their brain
a lot of times, and then they think that you've made it up and it's fake.
Or they're like, that's a moth. That's so cute, but that's a moth. But guess what? That's the reason why they can't see them, and we can.
I know. Exactly. Right. Yeah, and it has to be a pure mind, no motives. You have to develop that mindset in order to see them.
Yeah, and they can feel like you said, Jackson,
Mhm.
they get more comfortable with children. They can feel our purity and our intentions. We're
Right.
like the maiden that the unicorn walks up. Now,
Mhm.
what was it, Evie, who said, my grandkids believe in unicorns. So I have a deep connection with unicorns. I see them, I feel them, I know that they're there. I can
Mhm.
So I don't know where they are or what frequency they're in or what dimension that they're in, or I don't know if they're on from a planet, perhaps a different planet, but I
have not seen one.
So I have
mermaids too.
felt them, but I don't feel that they are. They've been portrayed two very different ways, right? I've always felt that they were a very powerful being, but not necessarily the all love and light.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't feel them on this particular earth frequency, like the fairies I
don't.
feel here.
Yeah.
And the elementals I feel here. I don't feel the unicorns are here, but I
Yeah.
know that they're there because I have some sort of connection with them. I don't know if they were on a planet that I was on at one point. Like we were together on a planet. I don't know if it was this galaxy or this frequency, like somewhere in the far reaches. But then again, when you think about it, unicorns wouldn't be so prevalent in such a mainstream for all the
dragons,
children, for all the girls. Oh, dragons too. And also I know there are mermaids. I have felt, and also here's the coolest thing. So I was back when I again lived in my crystal palace. I was like, let me write a book because that sounds fun on my Tuesday. And I started researching like mythical creatures, and there's you can reach back where on Earth there are they called him like the green waterman or the blue waterman or something.
Really?
And he goes all the way back to early accounts of people writing things down. He was seen all over the globe, and he would come out and teach people things, work with them, and then they said like they think he went back into the water, and it's in Peru and it's in Asia and it's in and I started reading about this guy, and I was actually going to put him into my book because what I like to write about is real legends, where they come from, and then get as much reality as possible, because like you said, Mary, our world that we live in is better than any sci-fi movie I've ever watched.
No kidding, right? No kidding.
And I try to tell people that, like, guys, you don't understand what kind of world I live in. Yeah.
It's a magical world. It really is.
Magic does exist.
Yes, it does.
And the children know it. And it's just a matter of keeping their third eye open, if that's where it's coming from, is allowing that, not telling them, oh, stop, that's not real, stop it. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know. I was told that my entire life, so I hid my gift for all those years.
Yeah, you know? And I'm so blessed that I was never told that. In fact, my mother was outside. I remember her saying, now my mom was interesting, because I remember if something that she didn't like was going on, this is what kind of scared me a little bit. If there was something she didn't like going on, she would go tell me, I'm going to speak to my guides and we're going to handle this. And I'm like, what are you going to do, Mom? And she's like, that person's going to move, or that person's no longer going to be working with me. And I was like, Mom, I don't think you should be doing that. And within a month, the person would either have relocated, moved out of my neighborhood if she didn't like them. The job was changed. And then I remember, again, I go back to like these beautiful moments that I didn't realize as a child, where my grandmother woke up, hey, darling, how's it going? Oh, by the way, your brother Dale visited me last night. He's doing just fine, everyone. And he died when he was 9, though, you know.
Wow.
So we have very similar conversations, my mother and I also. She would laugh at some of the things that I would experience. So my mother always has had a sixth sense. If I did try to do anything out of line, she somehow was connected enough to know and caught me every single time. I never get away with anything.
I could never get away with it.
Ever. Like 2:00 in the morning, she somehow woke up and something jolted her awake, and she would call me or call the friend's house, because there was no cell phones back then. And she never made me feel like it was abnormal to have although she did make fun when I would tell her the balloons are moving in my, like, I'd have balloons in my room and like the balloons are talking to me because I'm communicating them with like a pendulum without even knowing what a pendulum was back then, and I'm like, say, sway to the right if you're here and you want to say this, that, and the other, and the balloons would all, no air, I didn't even have a fan in my room. Like, the balloons would all move right. And I would tell my mother this and she's looking at me like, are you on drugs? Like, what are you doing? So she didn't necessarily not tell me I shouldn't be doing this, but she would make light of the situation.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I would get in trouble because it got to the point where I was too afraid to go into the back room where the bathroom was because there was something that was always in there. I remember there always being something that was always around and it freaked me out. And I would get in a lot of trouble about that because my mom was like, stop it. And I'm like, no, like this is life or death, Mom. I'm not going back there. And she'd be like, it's ridiculous. You're not watching any more TV.
Well, years ago when I was going to, it wasn't years ago, it was just recently, like 2 years ago, a friend of mine that has a big placement agency in Atlanta for people who work estates and stuff. He goes, if I'm going to place you, then you're going to have to remove all of this, talking about my Mary the Medium stuff. And I said, I can't. This is who I am, and I've been on the other side of the coin and I'm not hiding it anymore, Right.
We were just talking to somebody this past weekend at Spirit Fest, and he couldn't come on screen because he works for somebody that does not allow any of the spirituality or the things that he does. And he does amazing light language, and he does amazing mediumship, and he's an incredible healer. And he was not able to show face because
oh my gosh,
because he would lose out of fear of being put in a psych ward.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, all of my daughter's friend, so she goes to a very Christian school, and when they started finding out about these little things about me, they were like, the teachers were like, look, we kind of work there because they were teachers, we're all friends, the kids growing up, they're like, we can't have you at our parties anymore, we can't have you on any of our Facebook, we can't have anyone like you anywhere near us, sorry Kristen, but you're not like welcome in our groups anymore. And I was like,
oh my gosh,
but the school would have fired them. So.
Oh, wow. Well, what I do is everybody thinks that mediums are spawns of the devil, especially in the Deep South. So what I have to tell them is I'm a Christian.
Yes.
Okay? I grew up Christian. Yeah. I simply have a gift and I walk in the light of God.
Yes.
And everything I do for him.
From God. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I saw him the same. And what I did, because again, I had a couple of people working on my PR marketing stuff that I probably should have paid more attention to. So they put psychic everywhere, psychic. And I'm not saying that a psychic is a bad thing, but that's not what I do. I'm not going to tell you, hey, you're coming into some money and you're going to be flying to Vegas. Like,
you're a light worker.
That's what I do.
Yeah. I'm a light worker. Yeah, I wouldn't even define myself as a psychic. And so I actually asked Chat. And I'm like, Chat, what is a name? Like, what am I? Like, everything I do is straight from God. I'm channeling straight from God. God is my best friend. I mean, we are one. We've merged. God and I are. I know the God source that comes inside of me and speaks. Like, we're tight. And they said, I'm more a prophet. They said, a prophet.
Yep. That's what I am. I don't like the term psychic. I mean, I do, but there's so many people who have given it a negative name. So I started Christian Prophet Ministries.
Yes.
Yeah. And so prophet, absolutely.
Yeah. And my first studio, it was called Lightworkers United studio, was out of the Unity Church of Christianity. They actually gave me the whole backside of the church to run my Lightworkers United out of the back of the church.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Like,
you are a light worker. I'm a light worker. Jax is a light worker.
yeah,
You
we
know?
work with the light. And that, you know what? And I have to say I don't want to discredit some of that because there is some real truth to quote unquote psychics working with lower vibrational energy, because
Oh, yeah.
I have, and there's some that even work with like voodoo and black magic and candles and spells. And in fact, one of the guys at my studio, I didn't know that he was doing this because he is a light worker. And you're always a light worker if you have gifts, but how you use them is what puts your frequency.
Right.
Like even what my mom did. Now, mind you, she wasn't trained or educated, but I am not going to move my neighbors out of their house. While I could, I'm not going to do it, you know? And so that's the difference between knowing what your power is, honoring and respecting it, or manipulating it, And so this guy, when I found out, he was saying, hey, do you want like a spell for that? If you light this candle and you do this, you can make this happen. And I was like, what energy force are you tapping into? I don't want that in this church and in this environment.
Right. No.
So I actually had to cut ties with him. There's been a couple people.
Yeah.
And when I was on my search and journey for a teacher, after all this strange stuff started happening and I didn't have any answers to it, I ran into some very dark sides. So there was this one psychic that I ran into, and she's like, oh, come, and I'm going to tell you how this all goes. And then every time I sit down with her in front of her, just like we're doing right now, the only thing I can hear very loudly is money, 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 money. It's playing like so loud in my ear that I can't even hear her speak. And I'm hearing want, money, 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 money. And I'm like, what is happening right now? And I looked at her and I said, you know, I actually have abilities, right? Like, I don't know what you're trying to do here, but I'm actually gifted. So could we get on to the real stuff? And she just looked at me like, that'll be $500. And actually she had brought me to a house. And then I heard on top of the money, 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 she brought me to a home. This is not her home. She had pictures of her family on the mantle. And I heard very clearly, this is not her home. And I'm like, what do you mean this is not? So I'm staring at this woman talking to me, money, 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 screaming in the back of my head. And I'm hearing my guides tell me, this is not her home. You need to leave. And so I got up and I left, and I was so like shooken. Now, mind you, I'm a brand new, I don't know anything. And so this was shaking me a little bit. And I said, I have to know if I was right, because if that wasn't her house, I think that's all the validation that I need, that I'm not crazy. This is happening. Something's happening. And so the next day I did a drive-by, and a neighbor was outside. And again, I hear, go ask that neighbor. So I'm like, okay. I asked the neighbor, and I'm like, is there a woman who lives there? He's like, no, that house is a couple. They're out of town. This is just their Florida house. And I said, and I didn't tell him I was in the house yesterday with the woman, because I was like, who was I with yesterday? And he said, and I said, well, would there be a woman for any reason in this house? He said, no. But a couple years ago, there was a real estate agent who used to look after the house. And so this woman was using these people's houses, I think, to scam people, to be honest.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
So sad.
But I was so validated that I was also so happy at the same time, because I was so validated at my gifts at that moment.
Right. Yeah.
That was more validating than anything else, because I think I had to have been 20s, maybe in my 20s.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Mary, did you ever have a teacher? Not really, right? We came from a time.
Never. I never had a teacher. Never, ever. And I never really knew. I mean, I could tap into places I'd never been and see the landscape. And I knew things before they happened. And all of these people would be standing at the end of my bed as a child. And so I never had anybody take me and say, this is what you are. And so for all of my life, I had to figure this out. And then I realized, okay, so I'm a retrocognizant medium, which means I can go back into the past, see what happened, and especially with cold cases, see what happened like take a walk with the person, like, you know, especially I do missing persons cases. So I can take a walk with them. I can see who was there. I can see what happened. And then they'll take me and show me where their body is, or where their final resting place is. That's a retrocognizant medium, meaning being able to go back and do that. And I'm all of the C's. I hear them talking, you know. Matter of fact, I went to Thanksgiving dinner at my realtor's house, and I took a live photo of them. And here are all these spirits talking in the background. No TV was playing, nobody. Okay, I was taking a picture right before we left. So you know, and to be able to see them, to hear them, to know, and then the other really crazy part of my gift is I can go and take a picture, like let's say for instance, go into a museum, take a picture of the art on the wall, and have that art talk in my photos. Like I've got Rembrandt. I got Picasso. I got, who was the guy that sliced his ear off? Van Gogh. I got Van Gogh. All of them on my iPhone talking on their art pieces. And you know it's them by their accents. And I posted this on my website. No, on my what was it? Yeah, was it? No, it was on my YouTube channel, Mary, What Do You See? You know, at The Real Mary, the Medium, on social media. And I posted all of this, and I featured them on my YouTube channel with Jason, my co-host. And I mean, literally, I have a picture of Rembrandt in my backyard, sitting in my backyard with a dog from his painting. And so, you want to hear the crazy story?
Yeah, tell us.
I had to take him back to the museum. So I go back to the photos, Rembrandt's photos hanging in Boston Fine Arts Museum. These big portraits, and I take a photo, and a British or Jamaican woman says, "Where's Rem? You took Rem."
Oh.
And I sat there in broad daylight in front of a bunch of people walking by, and I said, "I brought him back." And then I took another photo, because that's how I can communicate with the pictures. And I took another photo, and she goes, "Where's Doggy? Bring Doggy back." And I said, "I brought the dog back." And true. I mean, and I played this on YouTube.
I love
True
it.
story. Yeah. Rembrandt sitting in my backyard.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
I
love
have a
it.
picture. I would love to post a picture up and see what you guys think.
Okay.
This is, we were talking about fairies, we're talking about entities, we're talking about all kinds of things.
Ooh. Okay. What?
Oh, I love this photo.
Look at the light up at the top. You see the light?
Oh my God, it's so fantastic.
So this is your son, Jax, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what are those legs, or is that a tent, a covering?
No, there's nothing there. And if you look closely enough, you can see face over his shoulder, his right shoulder.
Oh
can see
yeah,
right
look
over
at
his
the
right
look
shoulder?
at the
Oh, a
look at the
face. Oh,
mist.
yeah.
I see it. Yeah. But look at the light at the top.
Look at the light coming up off the top.
And then it doesn't even touch his other shoulder. Like it doesn't hover over him.
No.
So he was 2.5. He would talk to people in his room all the time. He would run in his room and say, call his grandfathers or call whoever. And this is incredible. And nobody's been able to give me any information about it.
It's like they were building a teepee, like, you know, kind of thing.
But
the light up at the top, and then the light here by his shoulder. Okay, that the mist by his shoulder, that's what it looks like to me. They were playing with him. But the light tells me that's from God.
Yeah, I always thought it was like an angel shrouding him.
Probably, yeah.
But I could see a face so
Uh-huh.
clearly right behind his shoulder, and I had just tapped a picture of him, but he was just sitting on his bed, and
That's incredible. That's great.
Yeah,
this
that's a great photo. I said it when she showed me. I'm like, this is fantastic.
I'll show you a photo of an angel when I was doing the Moishe Kleinerman case in Israel. And my friend was videoing. He said, Mary, and we were FaceTiming while they were videoing where to go, which way to go. And he goes, Mary, he said, we're at a crossroads. Which way do we go? I said, why don't you ask the angel standing in front of you? I don't know. Can you guys see that? Can you see her?
A little bit. We can
send
see.
that to me, and I'll post it up here.
Yeah, I'll send that. Yeah, let me send this to you.
Send us the photo of the fairy. Do you mind the photo of the fairy too?
Yeah, sure.
I want to see that one again because that's such a beautiful picture of that fairy.
And then here's
you
a closer face of her.
I can't see. There's a glare.
Yeah.
Oh, the glare.
So just if you send it to us, I can post it in here.
Yeah, okay, I just sent it to you, Jax.
So I was with my ex again, and we were in Boston, and we went to a hotel, and I happened to snap a photo of him, and in the photo there was one orb, and I'm like, oh my gosh, look, we caught an orb, Ben, look. And I went into describing it to him, and he was like, okay, that's super weird and super creepy. And I was like, oh my God, let's take another photo. And then there were 3 orbs, and I was like, okay. I'm like, Ben, let's take more photos. And as I just started snapping the picture, and I can't find these photos anywhere for the life of me. I've looked, so I don't know how they got removed from me, but there were hundreds, Mary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then we didn't even know we were sleeping over a graveyard, but I was like, there are hundreds of orbs. And I said, there's not normally this many in one space. And I was like, where are we? And I looked out the window. It was a graveyard right there. Right
yeah.
there.
Well, they want to be seen and heard just because they're dead.
They were partying with us. Yeah. Every time I take a photo, there'd be more of them. It got so much that Ben was like, I need to walk out of this room because they were in a room. And then I walked out into the hallway, and there were a couple in the hallway. But the room, Mary, was they were covered.
Yeah, and I'm
covered.
Like, I believe you.
Yeah.
They want to be seen and heard. Just because they're dead doesn't mean that they went away. You know?
And they want to know that we can see them. And that's the thing, is they're talking to us all the time, sending hints and nudges and, hey, call that person. Hey, do that. Like all the time. Oh, you got the photo? Okay.
So there she is. She's got a golden shroud. You can see the light on top of her shroud covering her hair. She's got a cane in her hand, and she's got auburn hair, and she was sitting at the crossroads, and she was pointing that way with her so that's a real live angel.
Where did you take
that? Was taken in Israel.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Israel. And there's
the fairy. Oh
yeah.
My gosh.
Yeah, and that's a person or something. You can see hands coming out to grab her. You can see that. It was like, no, don't take the fairy.
You're too seen. Come back here.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic photo. And I like I said, I think that you can tell them that you want to take photos of them like you do, and they want to work with us. They want to do that.
Yeah, they do.
I find that some of them magically do not want to be videoed or pictured. In my experience, I seem to miss where you have to be really fast.
I think they connect, when Mary sets her intention, I think they have made an agreement to work with Mary. Like I haven't been able to catch that
I
many orbs.
can't. That's what I'm saying. Not everyone can do that.
Yes, this is what I'm saying too, because I have never had that happen again. And I've tried to be like, come on, guys, let's do this again. And I'm like, never again have I ever seen anything.
Although in my store, just as soon as
Mm-hmm.
right before I was ready to open, and I brought all my crystal energy into the store, and I had them lined up in front of the wall. You can see orbs.
Mm-hmm.
Literally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Everybody's like, oh, it's from a car. But then you see the difference between what a car looked like to that.
Yeah.
So my John, let's see, Mary, his brother had passed and he was doing a tribute show to his brother. And I was a little pouty because I was at home and I wasn't there. And I was like, I should be there. But I was watching it, here or there, had it on. And he went and said a tribute, like, I know you're always here, brother. I know you're, it's just a heartfelt thing. And I heard right then in that moment, look up. Now, had I not been at home, I would have never caught this. And the moment he said it, behind him, an orb came out. I watched it come out of the wall and fly right by him. In that moment when he said, it's almost like my brother's playing the guitar here with me, and it went out and shot. In fact, I think is like a gift or something. I'm gonna try to find that footage because I tried to take so many.
Should.
And then just record it for him because it was like that and that, like that's your brother. Like he came and had I not been home and had I not been there and had I not been whatever, I wouldn't have never seen that,
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, they don't go sit and sing in a choir all day, guys. They got jobs to do.
They got jobs. They're busy. My grandmother has actually come through so many times, and
that's great.
So many people are like, I've even said this to my mother before she was read. I said, Grandma's busy. She's out. She's working. She's doing her thing. She's got jobs. She's busy running around doing her thing. And she had another reading done, my mother, through actually one of her coworkers. My grandmother came through for her, my mother, and said, your mother is so busy. She's just so busy. She wants you to know she's so happy and she's so busy. So it's fun. Yeah, I miss her so much.
I know.
So Mary, when you sorry.
Mm-hmm. No, go ahead.
When you're tracing, do you do that like for people? You offer those services to like find missing people, or do you just do it for fun on your show? Like, tell us about what you have going on with your show.
The show, well, my pet psychic show is on Thursdays, but so what Jason and I decided to do is to do, a little bit of it pet psychic, but then the rest of it current events. Because even during the pet psychic show, they were like, well, what about this missing person? What about that? I'm like, I get it. So we turned the pet psychic show. It's half and half, current events and pets. But on Sundays at 8 p.m., and that's 9 p.m. on Thursdays. Sundays at 8 p.m. on YouTube. Mary, what do you see? I do cold cases. I have guests on. Like this Sunday, I've got he's probably one of the world's best teachers of meditation. Vib Verma. I've known him for many, many years. He's out in California. His brother is an energy healer. So he'll be a guest. I have other remote viewers. I have mediums. I have people who do tarot. But that show, like this past weekend, I have a cold case. I'm working out of Bogota, Colombia. And normally what I do is I don't want to know anything about a case. Nothing.
Yeah.
I don't want to know the people involved, because Spirit will show me everything I need to know. But first thing I'll do is I have to connect with a family member or a friend, not search parties. Okay, it has to be someone that had a connection with that person that's missing. And all I need is a photograph. That's all I need. That's all I want. I don't want any more information. And then I'll draw a map. Like this is to the girl in Bogota, Colombia. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Yeah, a
But
little bit.
yeah. But anyway, so I drew a map as to where I picked up her energy on where I felt her energy. And so I draw the map and then I'll go to Google Earth, okay? And I'll see if my map matches anything on Google Earth. And like for instance, the Jack O'Sullivan case, I was on that case for over a year, and the mother unfortunately didn't believe he was dead. So the very first thing I did with Jack was with his picture, I drew a map. And then I went to Google Earth probably a year and a half later. Okay. Because it was up and down, up and down, up and down, contact, no contact, and you have to remember you're dealing with grieving people. And so I matched it. If you took my map that I drew and you flipped it onto a Google Earth map, it was the spitting image
Cool.
down to the dot. And it's the same way with any missing person. Their soul takes me through where they are, who was there, who did it. That's the other part of my gift is I can see who did it or what happened.
Yeah.
Was it an accident? Was it nefarious? That kind of thing. But the very first thing I start with is a map. And then later on, I will match it up to a real live map. And then when I match it up, when I go to that real live map, usually I already know where they are because I pick up their energy. Okay. And even from a Google Earth map, if I have any doubts, I just hone in on their spiritual energy. It's like being tasered. I get tasered by spirit,
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. And it's the same feeling I get with a missing person.
I've had a few of those experiences, so I know.
Yeah.
Like I'll hear she did it.
Yeah.
In fact, I had a crazy thing where I'm on the TV while I'm minding my own business on the TV, and
Yeah.
I hear this woman got murdered, and it was on a reality TV show.
Yeah.
And I heard, now I had to, like you said, I happen to know the girl. I did not know I knew the girl. I did not know any of this. And I heard Megan did it. And I'm like, Megan did it? And I'm like, what? So now I'm putting the volume up going, what am I listening to? And they're like, there's a show. It was all about, they didn't give me the name yet. So I still don't have the name at this point. And I see the whole thing. I don't know. I see this girl picking this guy up, driving him to drop it off. He goes and kills the girlfriend. They get back in the car. He goes to Canada. Megan convinces him to kill himself because she's like, you're already caught. You're going down for this, because she's a maniacal like this. And he kills himself later. And I see this whole thing going on in my brain. So now I'm like a little obsessed because I'm like, I have to know if I'm insane. I could be insane at this point. And I haven't seen this girl since high school. So you got to understand, this is very strange for me. Turns out as I researched, they're like, yeah, we pulled the show. It was called All About Megan. And it was her.
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, it's crazy because, you have to be very careful, like I'll approach a police department or the family will say, Mary has information, and she's described these people to a T. These are the people. I won't know their names, but I can tell you what they look like.
Yeah.
And so you have to be very, very careful in that arena.
Yeah.
I got FBI on speed dial.
Yeah, I called a couple times and they were like, no. No. And I'm like, I can see the whole scenario. I'm telling you, there's a hotel, there's a dumpster right here. I see a canal in the back. Like, I can tell you probably the room number. And they were like, nope. And I'm like, okay. So I kind of did. And I think when you set the intention like you are doing, and this is another thing I've noticed, is that when Source wants to work with you, they're like, how do you want to work with us? And it's like, you can tell them, I want to do this. Honestly, if I were to pick up a map and tell them I want to start working cold cases, it wouldn't be long before the information is going to start downloading.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But the thing is, though, which is crazy, and Jax, maybe you could explain this. I have found, excuse me, a woman in Minnesota. I described where she was live on my show and who did it. And then, so that's the only, besides I'm working on the Becky Beard case out of Clute, Texas. That's a 40-year-old cold case. I've been on that case for 2 years. You know, the police don't want to move fast. It involves some politics and political people. Okay. So, but most of them have all been overseas, England, Europe, Colombia. Never all of them have been, except for a few in the United States, overseas. Maybe a past life, you know, I had over there, or I have spiritual connections over there, but it's all pretty much overseas.
Well, I find that you have a blueprint energy there, because you did one, and then it's like, hey, she's the real deal. Let's go. Let's call her.
Yeah.
And so you did a second, and then it's like, oh my God, she's really, really okay. Let's call her again. So it's like one mouth, I feel like, because for instance, my largest customer base is actually not where I live at all. It's in Louisiana. I did in Louisiana, and then she told 3 people, and then they told 3 people.
Yeah,
so,
gotcha.
So it's that spreading like wildfire through the spiritual realm of, like, you know, oh my God, let's call Mary. She's got us tapped in over there.
I tell you, I think a smart idea for one of us to do, which who knows, we'll add it to our list of businesses we're going to begin, is a missing persons psychic network. Because I'm realizing, like, they're putting out Amber Alerts, and if you were to pull us all together and that Amber Alert came to us, we're all going to start getting visions. And who knows which one is going to hit? We don't know that. We could get the car color. We can get the person involved. We can get probably the location that they're in. And like, as a parent, I always thought, like, okay, I have a list of psychics that I know, like, and I would have this list. I'm like, if something were to happen to any one of my children, my first call might be to the police, but my next call is to Mary and Joseph and Jack.
Right.
Yeah. That's the next call. I want you guys on the job immediately. I just think we could find them if we pulled our power together.
Find them before something becomes cold.
I think we can find them in a live case. You know, that might be something fun. Hey, you never know. Maybe we'll get a show and we'll do that, like the psychic medium missing network, and see if we can find some of these kids or find out what happened. But you know, does that put us in danger? Because I also, Mary can see he did it. I know who did it pretty quickly. Yeah. And then I'm sure I never really asked further, like, what would be, how do we catch him? Maybe that's my next question, but I know who did it. I've had that gift for a long time because my first ex was a bit of a shady guy, and he dealt with a lot of shady people. We were very young in the streets of Palm Beach and Boca and stuff. And I remember being like, that guy just robbed you. And he's like, oh, stop. Don't say that about my friends. I'm like, dude, stay away from that guy. He just robbed you. And I'm like, I can't believe I'm saying this. And he did. It turns out that they would be like, she's right every time. And it happened several times. I was like, your roommate took that from you. And I was right every time. I could see it.
I knew exactly this. And I think that once you're tapped in, really, you're tapped into all of the information. So as soon as you want to know, and you lift that veil and you say, okay, I'm open to giving and receiving all of this information. We hear it, we know it, and that's why we're able to read certain other people's energies and what and who is doing what, and why we're able to remote view, and why we're able to, for me doing it internationally, you doing it all over the place. We don't have to be sitting right in front of the person. We don't have to.
No.
We don't even have to
Yeah.
know the person's name. We don't have to see the person at all. We tap into this one giant consciousness,
Right.
and we can say, this one, we can see what happens. We get this feeling, we get the tingles, we know, and it's almost as if like our body has like this tense feeling if we don't say it, if we don't go through with the process. And it's like, oh, I gotta
I haven't, not that I tried, but I haven't been able to do it through a picture. But a freak for me, like if I see them and interact in any way and I hear their voice, I'm like,
yeah, you know.
Like,
right. I mean, I was doing it without even a picture, without some of my readings in the beginning were just blind. In other words, not seeing them, not talking, only on the telephone or even on Messenger, not even knowing anything. That's how some of my readings started, were blind. So as we have these gifts and as we get older, okay, as we age, our gifts will change along the way.
Yeah.
Okay. But when you reach a certain age, your gift will ultimately, there will be one defining gift, and then you have all of these other gifts. Okay. But you will have one defining gift.
It's like a doctor with specialties.
Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because I've even seen people's organs in their bodies too. Like when I was studying anatomy and physiology in college, I started seeing people's organs and whether they were healthy or not. I sent a dude to a hospital before his appendix burst. He walked into the hospital and they said, you are about to need emergency surgery. I sent him home. In fact, it was that guy at the studio who I told you was working some of that weird stuff. I was like, he was at a psychic fair at the studio, and I made him leave in the middle of the event, go straight to the hospital because I was studying in college and I could see his organs was about to explode. And it was so like he was like, Kristen, I'll wait till after the event. And I was like, you have to go right now. I even grabbed his friend and I'm like, you get him in the car and drive him to the ER right now. And then they said he walked in the nick of time.
Wow.
And it didn't.
Great.
Yeah. And that was just from me.
Workers and messengers of the world.
Yeah. And that was just me studying anatomy and physiology book. But that was another lesson. That's when I started learning you can make your own cards. And I am going to make a deck of cards that has the heart, the blood system, the nervous system. And I'm going to, because I've spoken to my body parts before. I've spoken to my stomach, my lungs, they have sentient intelligence to them. Who knew? They're all different. I didn't realize that. I even thought the body system was one thing. My stomach has its own, it's like a puppy dog. It's the cutest thing ever. My intestines have a different intelligence. They talk to me. It's been so weird. Our world is so weird. People just don't know. Like, I can't wait till we go over to the other side and we're going to be like, see all this crazy stuff. And we're going to see all this stuff, half the stuff we missed and all the things. And that's when we're probably going to be like, let's go back, coach, put me back in. Let's do it one more time.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Because, you know what? When we're of service, we're able to help heal and raise the vibrations, and we're awakening more and more and more young light workers, and we're raising up the next generation of amazing light workers who unfortunately didn't necessarily have to go through the struggles like we did.
We did, right.
And, not having access to a lot of mentors and not having learning the rough, hard way all on our own, and not knowing that there were even terms for anything that we were doing. We just knew that this was our normal everyday experiences. We didn't know that other people didn't experience it like us until you would talk to somebody. I remember in middle school, actually, a friend of mine from down the street, I looked at her and I started talking to her about her personal stuff, and she's like, you're scaring the hell out of me. I'm sorry, I have to go home now. And
my God. Yeah, I've had that.
And left. So
I thought everyone could do this. I didn't realize
that I was different.
Like yeah. I didn't know I was different either.
Yeah, right.
Especially raised in my family where this was normal. So it took me a long time to realize and then it took me a while to actually I had to witness the fact that I'm like, you can't tell that this guy just did something bad. Like, you can't tell that because it's like so obvious to me. And they were like, no, you're weird. What are you talking about? I was like, this is like, can't you see the orange? It's right in front of you. They're like, no.
Oh, I know. Yeah. And I'm from the Bible Belt South, guys, so there's a church on every corner.
Yeah, that's not a safe space.
Yeah. So imagine having a gift like mine in a small South Carolina town, you couldn't talk about it. No. Now I do all the time.
Yeah. It's really nice coming out of the spiritual closet. It's
right.
Yeah. It's nice to be like, guess what? This is what I do. This is who I channel. This is who I talk to. I'm not closing it up anymore. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, all right. Mary, tell us, because it's that time, it's 9:30. Tell anyone if they want to get a hold of you that marythemedium.com is how they can book a mediumship reading with you, workshops, come to your YouTubes. What is...
Yeah, the YouTube channel is Mary, what do you see, under Mary the Medium, but you can find the social handle at The Real Mary the Medium on YouTube, Thursday nights at 9, Sundays at 8 p.m. With Jason and myself. And if you have a missing persons case, guys, it's free. I don't charge for missing people. I don't believe in that.
Yeah, we all have our stuff we don't want to charge for. And what about your next live event? Do you know if you have one planned? I don't have any planned for now, but
I've got Spirit Fest in Port St. Lucie. Then I'm going to Raleigh for Body, Mind, and Spirit in February, the end of February, and then Spirit Fest again in St. Pete.
Okay, I will keep that in mind. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, cool. We'll have to talk about Raleigh. Mind, Body, Spirit Fest.
Yeah, let's talk.
That's a little... Yeah, let's talk. Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Mary. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks, guys, for having me. Lots of love and white light. Yeah,
lots of love and light. I'm going to play your commercial.
Enjoyed it.
Yes, thank you. And we'll have you come on again. If you get any really cool case or something like that, let us know.
Yeah, I promise. I will. Okay.
Bye, Mary.
Bye.
Thank you. Let's see.
Oh, you're still live.
It's not playing? That's all you get. What happened? You're muted. Yeah, you're muted.
I didn't even mute myself. All right, let's try it again.
Thank you, Elma. Oh, I haven't spoken to you in so long.
Aww.
Hope you're doing well.
Evie had to go. Bye, Evie. All right. Well, that was cool. That was exciting. Always fun to get into that stuff.
I love it.
Yes. Okay, so I don't know what our schedule is upcoming. I always generally sometimes like to break for the holidays. So I guess we'll have to see. Maybe we have one show and then maybe we'll break and then pick back up. It's like a January thing, or we keep doing it.
January is the Port St. Lucie one.
Yes. I don't know if I'm going to that. Are you going to go? I don't know if I am.
I haven't done the Port St. Lucie one yet, so I don't know.
Yeah, and that is basically your stomping ground, right?
Yep.
That's your people?
That's my people. So I will be in Fort Pierce for the tree lighting ceremony this Sunday. And I will be at a Brazilian birthday bash for nonprofits on Saturday. Then I have just a bunch of privates that I'm doing, holiday parties, and I did book a Cyber Monday special today. So there's a few hours left. It's good only until midnight, 11:59 actually p.m. And it is $50 for 20 minutes. So you can book it today. You don't have to use it today. As long as you book the reading, you are able to go on sunpure.com and have that Cyber Monday special sale.
Cool. Awesome.
So, yeah, normally $88, so you're getting $33 off.
Love it. And I finally had a lot of, I'm like, maybe I need to give Source like, okay, we're like specific times to download, because I'm like, in the middle of the night, all of a sudden all these downloads start coming and shoot me awake. I'm like, and generally I'm like, I'm going to go back to bed, and I heard write it down. So I just started writing it down, which was good. It was a whole download on, I'm looking, it was a whole download. I even have to look at what it was. It was in the middle of the night on the TEDx talk relationship. On the subject matter. And there was all these words coming through and all this stuff coming through. So it's kind of exciting. I'm going to review it.
Yeah, definitely review it.
Yeah, all about, let's see, crossroads, reaction versus response, perspectives. Tomorrow is not promised.
Thank you, Elma. Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah. Programs to retrain the brain, single breath, micro moment, conscious choice. Yeah, so there's a whole lot of stuff that just started coming through. So I'm excited to work on that. That's kind of my goal, is to work on the topic for the TEDx talk. And then I also am going to, I know that I'm restructuring the YouTube. I think I'm going to pull everything off of YouTube and restructure just to start from scratch, because I have 4 or 5 different YouTubes and they're all really scattered. So I need to consolidate and get that done. And then I have like 5 people set up for interviews that I want to start doing, just because basically, again, I was at all the people I was with this weekend, they were all YouTubers. And without consistency, the YouTube algorithm just won't push your stuff. And they want not only once a week, they want content every day. So does TikTok every day. So
everything wants it every day.
Want it every day. Facebook too. So it's like a lot.
Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my next month. And then figuring out, what January looks like and stuff like that. So we may be in and out. I don't know. We'll figure out whether we want to.
41. So anybody that's here that wants to subscribe, I'm 9 people away from going live on YouTube. I need to have 9 more people.
Yep. Here we go.
But even last night, I just posted 2 of them. They've gotten just one of them almost 2,000 views, which was a very funny meme. And I'll have to actually send it in here. I'm going to put it up real fast. It's very funny.
Okay. Can you get it in there?
Yep. I'm going to put it in right now.
Let's see. Yeah, and I'm going to try to get. Oh, Tim, thanks for following me on Instagram. I appreciate it.
Yeah, just follow us on all the socials, because that's the best way to support us right now, because the more people we have following us, the more people we are able to reach, the more people we're able to heal.
Did you get it in?
Yeah, I'm adding file right now. It's not letting me. Video clips, right?
Yeah. If it's a video, put it in a video. It took me a little bit to figure that part out.
That's what I'm doing here. Let's see. Open desktop.
All right. In the meantime, I'm going to play this just because I want to get our commercial stuff.
floating on here.
All right, I'll play one more then. We got to get our own videos in here instead of everyone else's.
Okay, here it goes.
You got it.
Why? Why? Oh, that's why.
Oh God, that's what it feels like. Why?
2,000 views. Like,
It is what it feels like.
less than 24 hours.
Like, why did I do this? And like, but then I'm really wondering, is there like another version of myself living her best life? And I'm just like what am I over here?
Like, the twins, I'm the leftover.
Yeah, I was like, I'm glad she's living her best life. I think she got the guy. I think she's living the dream. She's got all her career. And she's like, yeah, you just hang out here and hold space. Maybe that's what I'm supposed to be doing over here, just holding frequency. And that's been my real.
This mind, let me tap in for a day or two, a year, lifetime or something.
Yeah, I've had some real messages come through about holding space, going with the flow. I want to see what they came through. Yeah, I've had some real interesting ones. Let's see. Yeah, go with the flow, holding space, new ideas, like, yeah. So I know what I need to be working on, and I'm excited to be working on it. Today, by the way, everyone, is the first day of the last month of the year. So enjoy this month
Of 2025.
2025. It's December 1st. You have 31 days of this year. And you know what? Don't procrastinate. Figure out how to set up this month so that by the time you hit that January 1st, you're like feeling really good about what you're doing.
Vision board it, manifest it, put it out.
Yeah.
And we have, mind you, this week, we have one of the biggest, amazing full moons in Gemini.
Oh, moon's
For
in
the
Gemini.
next 48 years
What
cycle.
does that mean? Because Geminis are very complicated people.
Well, it depends on which twin you're looking at. I guess that's
Exactly.
why I'm thinking twins. But it is the size and the fullness.
What do you mean? The
the
size and
moon
the fullness for the next 40 years? I don't understand.
48 year cycle, 48 year cycle, something like
I don't
that.
understand what that means. Do you? I don't understand what that means.
So
That
it's
means-
the largest moon,
Oh, sorry, guys.
like closest to us. So it's going to look the largest in the cycle of 42 years, 48 years.
Oh, it looks the largest now from
This
the last
next
40
full
years.
moon.
We're not looking at 42 years of a large Gemini moon. That
Now,
scares
the
me.
next full moon is not the largest full moon in Gemini for the next 42 or 48 years. It's some means like so December 2025 moon will also be a super moon, meaning the full moon coincides with the moon being near its closest approach to Earth. So it's on the closest axis. So it's going to be as close as possible to us. So it appears a bit larger and brighter than average. Supermoons are a reoccurring feature, not extremely rare, but according to astronomical definitions, a full moon within 90% of perigee qualifies. So this is where it's going to be the closest to us in this cycle.
Okay. And it's going to look, and which day is that?
It is December 4th.
Awesome.
It's this week. December 4th.
Okay.
That's to me. So the next full moon, which will be in Gemini, occurs on December 4th. So
Cool. I'll make sure to
this
go out tonight.
Thursday, put in your
Alien
intentions.
moon base that's on the moon.
Put in your intentions. work with the full moon energy of letting things go, starting, just being able to, it's the end of the cycle, the full moon. So it's letting it go, move on, start fresh. The new moon is bringing in new energy, but the full moon is letting all of it go. It's reached its full cycle.
Yeah.
And that's when you want to set your new intentions for right after the full moon.
Okay. I love it. Let's do it. And that's good. And there's so many things that I think some of us have procrastinated on this year. And we have 1 month left to kind of set that goal, intention, plan, roadmap to what next year is going to look like. I think next year is going to be a good year.
It's going to be an amazing year.
I pray that the
year.
economy holds, because things are financially, I'm seeing like things are tanking a bit, but I'm just praying that we hold stable for the year. But regardless, I am in complete belief that whatever is happening has to happen. So even if it's going to be tough or hard, I know that it's necessary for greater days ahead. So I'm just going to hold on to that.
Me too.
Okay. Awesome. Well, good luck. I will see you. Have a great week.
You
sure
too.
If not, I will see you next Monday for sure. Let me know if you want to bring a guest on, if there's someone that you want, and I'll let you know if I have someone we want to bring on.
Yes.
Okay.
Have
Talk
a
to
wonderful
you
week.
later. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Live every Monday at 8 p.m. Spiritual Coach Kristen and Coach Jocks. We are a global spiritual training academy, here to teach you nothing, because the truth is, you already know. Our role? To help you remember your mission, your message, and the movement you were born to lead. Expand consciously, live authentically, discover your truth, enhance your gifts, master your superpowers. We are light workers and bridge builders, united as a species of Earth, and together we are stronger. Together, we are one tribe.